folks. Sean Broderick. I'm at the New Orleans Investment Conference, and I'm speaking to Trilogy Metals. Actually, his name is Patrick Donnelly, not Trilogy Metals, but he does work for the company, which is a great copper developer up in Alaska. They have a lot of things going on. They are making progress. It sounds like a very interesting story. Pat's going to share it with you. Could you please tell my viewers what your company's doing up there?
Well, we have one of the highest grade copper projects in the world, and this year and early next year is a really big time for us. We've been working on the permitting of an access road to our project for the last 5 years. That's being led by ADA, the Alaska Industrial Development Export Authority, and we expect the road to be permitted early next year. So that's a huge, huge catalyst for us. It unlocks the entire Ambler mineral belt that we own. So that's a really, really big thing. The other thing that's huge is we have an option agreement with a company called South32. They're a $9 billion Australian producer, and they have until the end of January next year to exercise their option. If they do that, they get a 50% interest in our assets, but they have to put in $150 million US into the joint venture.
Yeah.
And then finally, our flagship Arctic, it's one of the highest grade projects in the world, 43 million tons, 5% copper. We're working on a feasibility study on that, and that should be out in the first quarter of next year as well.
Okay.
We got lots of cash and lots of drilling results, lots of news, and it's a great time to get into the story.
All right. Just to go over some of these things, that road is about 216 miles long, I think?
211.
211, and it's going to be paid for by the government, right?
No, what ADA, Alaska Industrial Development Export Authority, that's an infrastructure bank owned by the state of Alaska.
Okay.
They will raise the money in the capital markets. They'll raise debt, and they've done this before. And then what we do is we'll pay a toll on that road. And that'll pay off the debt and the interest. And that was done at the Red Dog Mine. The Red Dog Mine, which is owned by Nana Corporation and operated by Teck, is 200 miles away from us. And ADA built a road and port for that mine in the 1980s and raised debt and then charged the mine a toll to pay off that debt. And they paid it off, and now that toll generates $20 million a year for the state of Alaska. So this model's been done before in Alaska. It works, and they're going to do the same sort of deal with us once we get the road permitted.
Okay, good. And so that road will take 3 years to build once you have all the permits,
Correct.
right? And in the meantime, you have other things moving along. You have that Australian company with the option there, and they put in $30 million already, and to exercise their option, they'd have to put in another 150.
Correct.
And but that would give you enough money to pretty much do a whole heck of a lot of things for the next few years.
And that's a really good point, Sean. We don't need to raise money. Like, we currently have $26 million in the bank, and then there'll be another $150 million going into the joint venture. So there's no reason for us to raise any money. Eventually, there will be a construction decision in the next few years. Once we've completed permitting Arctic. But for now, for the next few years, we don't need any money. And not only that, we expect to move these assets along quite aggressively.
Okay, and so you have high grade, isn't that right?
Oh, yeah, we do, absolutely.
What is the grade on the copper stuff?
So at Arctic, it's 5% copper equivalent. So it's about over 2% copper, 3% zinc, half a gram gold, and about an ounce silver. So on a copper equivalent basis, it's 5% copper equivalent. Across the Valley of Bornite, our other asset, we have 125 million tons of open pit at 1%, and about 60 million tons underground, about 3%. So again, very, very high grade copper assets.
Okay, good. And so when the mine finally goes into production, let's say everything goes right, that's around 2025 and so on.
Correct.
You'll actually sell three things. You'll sell a copper concentrate, a zinc concentrate, and then a lead concentrate that will also have precious metals in it, isn't that right?
That's right.
And really, like precious metals, something like that could be streamed out if you actually needed more money and that kind of thing. My whole point is you have options here.
That's the beauty of this project, is that precious metals only represent about 10% of our revenue, but the value is in the hundreds of millions of dollars for these precious metals. So, the nice thing is when we get to a construction decision, we have a lot of options to finance this project. Most importantly, by minimizing dilution to our shareholders. That's the key thing.
Right. Yeah, and it is really you have some strong hands in it. You have some investors, large investors who are in the company right now. So obviously people who actually believe in this project. And so you also have that going for you as well.
Yeah, our top 3 shareholders are Electrum, Baupost, and Paulson. Electrum is owned by or run by Tom Kaplan, who's a billionaire. Baupost is Seth Plowman. They're a deep discount shop. They've been in there since the beginning. And then Paulson is the true John Paulson.
Yes, right.
And he's been in the story from the very beginning. So these 3 guys own 40%. They've never sold any shares. They've been in every financing. They're 100% behind this company. And so it's really good to have very, very strong supportive shareholders in the story.
Okay, well, with unrest around the world in places like Chile, and along with the fact that we know copper demand is just going to be soaring as
Sure.
the EV revolution continues
Sure.
onward and like stuff like that, it seems like your company is really well placed for that. So I think it has that going for it as well. Let's give folks the stock symbol and
Sure.
anything else you want to add.
So we're listed in New York, New York American, TMQ.
Okay.
We're also listed in Toronto, but most of our liquidity is in New York. We're effectively a U.S. company. Nearly all U.S. shareholders, U.S. management. We're based in Alaska. We're listed on New York.
Okay.
And we're in one of the best jurisdictions in the world in Alaska, as you noted before. So, and copper fundamentals are off the charts. And even if you're bearish on copper, the nice thing is our assets actually still make money in a weak copper environment. So if you love copper, it makes money. If you're bearish on copper, it makes money. And we have a lot of catalysts going forward, and we have a lot of cash.
Okay, great. Well, that wraps up all my questions. Is there
Sure.
anything you'd like to say before we go?
No, I think that's about it. I would encourage people who are looking at the story to make a decision soon, because these catalysts are coming down the road pretty quickly. And, we were at $3 per share last summer in New York, and we went down to $1.50. Now we're back up to $2. And, I think this is a $5 or $6 stock. So now it's time to get in.
Okay, great. Well, some really good fundamentals for this company. We hear about lots of companies who actually want to start copper mines, but the thing is they're big undertakings. These guys have been working at this for a long time. They're in a great spot. The new roads coming in. They have strong partners. They have high grade, which makes up for a whole lot of problems that could come along for any mine. And they really have a lot of things going for them. So we'll take a closer look at it. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Thank you for speaking to my subscribers. You folks stay tuned.